Welcome to East City Flower Shop. My name is Janet McLeod and I'm Canada's 8th Canadian Accredited Master Florist. If you watched Flower Sense recently on Checks, then you saw me make a wedding bouquet. And I am going to show you again in a video how to make your own wedding bouquet. And we're going to take a little more time than I had with my 3 minutes in Checks. The first thing you need to do, and it is the most important, is do all the prep work that you're going to need on your product. Making a bouquet and designing flowers is very similar to painting a room or shingling a roof or paving a driveway. You need to do all your prep work first, and then that gives you a strong foundation for what you're going to complete. I've got my roses. I have taken off most of the greenery, and then I'm going to take off the outside petals. These are called guard petals, and we remove them and make sure the rose is as clean and beautiful as it can be. Again, I'm going to take the foliage off. I've got a sharp knife if I need to cut the leaves off. I'm going to leave a little bit of foliage at the top just because it looks nice in the bouquet. So what I've done here is I have all of my roses ready to go. I have 3 different types of foliage. I have variegated pittosporum, I have some salal leaves, and I have some leather leaf. Again, what I've done, I take my leather leaf. See, I'm going to take this broken piece off, and I'm going to throw that out. These lower pieces I'm going to set aside because I'm going to need those for my corsages or my boutonnieres, and those will come in a later video. Again, I'm going to clean up the stem, save that. With the salal, I'm going to look for a branch that has smaller leaves. I'm going to make sure that they're all nicely shaped. If there is a leaf that's got a broken piece, I'm going to cut that off. So, my variegated pittosporum. Again, I'm going to look for some branches. This one's a little too woody, but this one right here will work quite nicely. And I'm going to make sure all of my same material are stacked neatly together. So by same material, I mean I have my variegated pittosporum, I have my salal, I have my leather leaf, I have some hypericum berries, and again, I've taken these hypericum berries, they're in a stem like this, I've stripped off the leaves, I've stripped off these larger leaves because they're only going to turn black, and you don't want that in your wedding bouquet. Any little bits of berry I'm going to set aside and save because I'm going to need those for the boutonnieres, and that will be in a later video. This is looking a little bit mangy, so I'm going to take it off. And again, I'm going to clean up all those little bits of foliage so that all you're going to see in this bouquet is the beautiful green of that hypericum berry. So, we have our roses, we have our salal, our leather leaf, our variegated pittosporum, and our hypericum berries. We are now ready to start our bouquet. What I'm going to do is take my first rose. I am right-handed, so I'm going to hold this in my left hand, and I'm going to hold it very gently so that I've still got room to add more stems. And what I'm going to do is put a stem at the north, a stem at the south, a stem at the east, and a stem at the west. What's happening here now gives me a spot that I can put this flower here. See how there's an opening? And I'm going to fit this rose into that spot. And I'm going to fit this into this spot. And what I'm going to do is fill in those empty places until I have a nice round bouquet. And again, I'm still holding it gently in my hand. I've got space there so that I can begin to add some greenery. Now, if you're getting married and it's hot, you may want to consider adding greenery. I know I see a lot of brides who say, I want no foliage at all, but you may need some foliage if it's the summertime to support your blooms. So I am going to add, first of all, my salal. It's a good, solid, it's a hard-leafed green, and it will support all of those flowers very well. And what I've done is I've put that around all the way so that I have an equal amount of salal showing all the way around that bouquet. Next, I'm going to add some leather fern. I like to use 3 types of foliage because it gives a variety, it gives texture, and it makes it interesting. So there, we've got some salal showing again all the way around. I'm going to add some hypericum berries because I want those in between my flowers. So again, because I'm holding it loosely in my hand, I'm able to add those hypericum berries without too much difficulty. Again, you might have to adjust as you go because you want all of these roses at about the same height. When the bride looks down at these, she wants to see a nice, even presentation of flowers. And last but not least, I'm going to add my variegated pittosporum. And I particularly like variegated pittosporum with white roses because the variegated tips of the greens, I think, really accents the white of those roses and really gives it a richness. Keep in mind when you're doing a white bouquet, and if you've got a white dress, that the richness of the greens will also make the white, elegant look of this bouquet stand out against their dresses. I'm just going to make sure that all of those roses are in place. And I have now completed a wedding bouquet. What I'm going to do is tape this together with florist tape, and then I'm going to trim all the stems at the length that I want them to be. Remember, if you leave the stems too long, it's going to catch on the dress. And you don't want snags or marks on the bride's dress on the day of the wedding. You can finish off this handle with ribbon. You can finish off this handle with just tape. You can, if you've got something that's a handkerchief of grandma's, you can finish it off with that. There are all sorts of ways you can complete that. And there we have a wedding bouquet that you can do yourself. Beautiful presentation when it's completed. It can be stood in a vase on the head table, and it makes a beautiful table center. I'm Janet McLeod, and thank you for joining us at East City Flower Shop, and good luck with your bouquet. They're a lot of fun.